Becoming a parent during the pandemic was the hardest thing I've ever done. This completely different person I've become since I gave birth is someone virtually no one knows, by Sophia Gilbert. In early March last year, I was heading home from a work happy hour on the subway when I realized that a woman was staring at my belly. She looked at my waist, while my coat was belted, and then at the floor, and then at my waist again. And then she very tentatively offered me her seat. I was 4 months pregnant. I'd also eaten a lot of fried foods at happy hour, in lieu of drinking. I felt pitifully grateful to this woman at the time, and I ended up thinking about her a lot in the following months. She was really the only person, apart from my husband, my obstetricians, some nurses, and my doorman, who ever saw me pregnant. My mother didn't. My siblings didn't. My first friends didn't either, or my co-workers, or any other kind-hearted strangers on the subway. After the second week of March, I stopped going anywhere apart from occasionally doctor visits and walks around the city. In July, I gave birth to twins, and then I stopped going anywhere at all. You take these babies home and you keep them there, the head nurse at Will Corner Medicine told me, and that is exactly what I did. Three Practices to Celebrate Your Day by Lou Babata. What it would be like if today was special. I'm going to share a few simple practices that will elevate every day into something to celebrate. Practice 1. Win the day. Instead of starting the day with a list of tasks to get done, what if we identified 1 to 3 things that would make this day an absolute victory if we were to do them? So the practice is to start the day with a simple entry in your notebook or on a simple test document. What would I do to make this day a victory? I keep this list front and center and refer back to it multiple times a day. It helps bring me back to what I want to accomplish. Practice 2. A brief review. At the end of each day, it can be powerful to take a brief pause and review how the day went and celebrate anything you can. Here's what I like to review. 1. How did I do with my win the day list? Celebrate any progress at all. 2. How did I do with my practices for the day? Again, any practice at all is a cause of celebration. 3. Where did I see the divine today? Where did I see the divine today? This only has to take a few minutes. Set a reminder. I often will take a few more minutes to set my intentions, win the day item for tomorrow. Practice 3. Ending ritual for tasks. We don't have to wait for the end of the day to celebrate. We can do it after anything we do. The practice is a simple ritual. Pause when you are done with something, before you move on to the next thing, and reflect and celebrate. Thoughts by Mara Wheeler-Wills. What kind of thoughts now do you carry in your travels day by day? Are they bright and lofty visions, or neglected, gone astray? Matters not how great in fancy, or what deeds of skill you've wrought. Man, though high may be station is no better than his thoughts. Catch your thoughts and hold them tightly. Let teach one an honor be. Purge them, scourge them, burnish brightly. Then in love set each one free. Thoughts by Mira Wheeler Wills. What kind of thoughts now do you carry in your travels day by day? Are they bright and lofty visions, or neglected gone astray? Matters not how great in fancy, or what deeds of skill you've wrought. Man, though high may be his station, is no better than his thoughts. Catch your thoughts and hold them tightly. Let each one an honor be. Purge them, scourge them, burnish brightly. Then in love set each one free. The Laudato by Jackson Brown. Now the seats are all empty. Let the rowdies take the stage. Pick it up and tear it down. They are the first to come and last to leave. Working for that minimum wage, they all set it up in another town. Tonight the people were so fine. They waited there in line, and then they got up on their feet. They made the show, and that was sweet. But I can hear the sound of slamming doors and folding chairs, and that's a sound they'll never know. Now roll them cases out and lift them amps. Haul them trousers down and get them up ramps. Cause when it comes to moving me, you guys are the champs. But when that last guitar's being packed away, you know that I still want to play. So just make sure you got it all set to go before you come for my piano. But the hands on the bus, and they are waiting to go. We've got to drive all night and do a show in Chicago or Detroit. I don't know. We do so many shows in a row, and these towns all look the same. We just pass the time in our hotel rooms and wander rounds backstage till those lights come up and we hear that crowd and we remember why we came. Now we got country and western on the bus, R&B. We got disco in 8 tracks and cassettes in stereo. Cassettes. We've got rural scenes and magazines. We got rural scenes and magazines. We've got truckers on the CB. We've got Richard Pryor on the video. We got time to think of the ones we love while the miles roll away. But the only time that seems too short is the time that we got to play. People, you've got the power over what we do. You can sit there and wait, or you can pull us through, come alone, sing the song. You know you can't go wrong, 'cause when that morning sun comes beating down, you are going to wake up in your town, but we'll all be scheduled to appear 1,000 miles away from here. Now the seats are all empty. Let the roadies take the stage. Pick it up and tear it down. They are the first to come and the last to leave. Working for that minimum wage. They all set it up in another town. Tonight the people were so fine, they waited there in line. And when they got up on their feet, they made the show. And that was sweet. But I can hear the sound of slamming doors and of folding chairs. And that's a sound they'll never know. Three ways the pandemic has made the world better. COVID-19 has inflicted devastating losses. It has also delivered certain blessings. By Zainab Tufekci. This has been a year of the terrible loss. People have lost loved ones to the pandemic. Many have gotten sick, and some are still suffering. Children have lost a year of school. Millions have lost a steady paycheck. Some have lost small businesses that they built for decades. Almost all of us have lost hugs and visits and traveled and the joy of gathering together at a favorite restaurant and more. And yet, this year has also taught us much. Strange as it may sound, the coronavirus pandemic has delivered blessings, and it does not diminish our ongoing suffering to acknowledge them. In fact, recognizing them increases the chance that our society may emerge from this ordeal more capable, more agile, and more prepared for the future. Here are three ways the world has changed for the better during this awful year. 1. We now know how to code for our vaccines. 2. We actually learned how to use our digital infrastructure. 3. We've unleashed the true spirit of peer review and open science. Review of E.T., The Extraterrestrial by Roger Ebert. Dear Raven and Emil, Sunday we sat on the big green couch and watched E.T., The Extraterrestrial together with your mommy and daddy. It was the first time either of you had seen it, although you knew a little of what to expect because we took the E.T. ride together at the Universal Tour. I had seen the movie lots of times since it came out in 1982, so I kept one eye on the screen and the other on the two of you. I wanted to see how a boy on his fourth birthday and a girl who had just turned 7 a week ago would respond to the movie. Well, it worked for both of you, as we say in Grandpa Roger's business. Raven, you never took your eyes off the screen, not even when it looked like E.T. was dying and you had to scout over next to me because you were afraid. Emil, you had to go sit on your dad's knee a couple of times, but you never stopped watching either. No trips to the bathroom or looking for lost toys. You were watching that movie with all of your attention. Exercise versus diet. What children of the Amazon can teach us about weight gain. What we eat may be more important than how much we move when it comes to fighting obesity. When children gain excess weight, the culprit is more likely to be eating too much than moving too little, according to a fascinating new study of children in Ecuador. The study compared the lifestyles, diets, and body compositions of Amazonian children who lived in rural, foraging communities with those of other indigenous children living in nearby towns, and the results had implications for the rising rates of obesity in both children and adults worldwide. The in-depth study found that the rural children who run, play, and forage for hours are leaner and more active than their urban counterparts, but they do not burn more calories day to day, a surprising finding that implicates the urban children's modernized diets in their weight gain. The findings also raise provocative questions about the interplay of physical activity and metabolism, and why exercise helps so little with weight loss, not only in children, but the rest of us too. Words Are Actions by Steve Pavlina. Some people claim that actions matters and words alone don't count for much. That philosophy may be popular, but it isn't based in truth. Words matter tremendously. Words are actions, and they absolutely do count, at least as much as any other form of action does. Words influence people. Words create impact, even when you are not trying to be impactful. Words create ripples, and words incur responsibility. With words alone, you can change the course of someone's life. You can affect someone well beyond or contrary to your intent. The law recognizes this too. You can go to jail just for your words if you choose the wrong ones, including in countries that profess to have a great freedom of speech, and you can most assuredly be sued for your words. Intent may be considered, but the bigger issue is impact. With your words, you could contribute to damaging someone's health, ending a job or a relationship, or even ending a life. You could also inspire someone to make a major positive change in their life. You could reduce someone's stress. You could better form a healthy and positive relationship. You can have these effects with words alone. How many transactions would never have occurred if certain words had never been voiced? How many regrets trace back to words alone, whether spoken or unspoken? You don't need a large platform or audience to have an impact with your words. A small number of words communicated to one person can be unexpectedly life-changing. I guarantee you that your words have already affected people and will continue to affect them in powerful ways you don't see at all. Words Are Actions by Steve Pavlina. Some people claim that actions matters and words alone don't count for much. That philosophy may be popular, but it isn't based in truth. Words matter tremendously. Words are actions, and they absolutely do count, at least as much as any other form of action does. Words influence people. Words create impact, even when you are not trying to be impactful. Words create ripples, and words incur responsibility. With words alone, you can change the course of someone's life. You can affect someone well beyond your intent. The law recognizes this too. You go to jail just for your words if you choose the wrong ones, including in countries that profess to have great freedom of speech. And you can almost assuredly be sued for your words. Intent may be considered, but the bigger issue is impact. With your words, you could contribute to manage someone's health, ending a job or a relationship, or even ending a life. You could also inspire someone to make a major positive change in their life. You could reduce someone's stress. You could help form a healthy and a positive relationship. You can have these effects within words alone. How many transactions would never have occurred if certain words had never been voiced? How many regrets trace back to words alone, whether spoken or unspoken? You don't need a large platform or audience to have impact with your words. A small number of words communicated to one person can be unexpectedly life-changing. I guarantee you that your words have already affected people and will continue to affect them in powerful ways you don't see that at all. People sold an NFT for $69 million through a first-of-its-kind auction at Christie's by Jacob Kastranix. Until October, the most Mike Winkelmann, the digital artist known as Beeple, had ever sold a print for was $100. Today, an NFT of his work sold for $69 million at Christie's. The sale positioned him among the top 3 most valuable living artists, according to the auction house. The record-smashing NFT sale comes after months of increasingly valuable auctions. In October, Winkelmann sold his first series of NFTs, with a pair going for $66,666.66 each. In December, he sold a series of works for $3.5 million total. And last month, one of the NFT that originally sold for $66,666.66 was resold for $6.6 million. NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are unique files that live on a blockchain and are able to verify ownership of a work of digital art. Buyers typically get limited rights to display the digital artwork they represent, but in many ways, they are just buying branding rights and an asset they may be able to resell later. The technology has absolutely exploded over the past few weeks, and Winkelmann, more than anyone else, had been at the forefront of this rapid rise. NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are unique files that live on a blockchain and are able to verify ownership of a work of digital art. Buyers typically get limited rights to display the digital artwork they represent, but in many ways, they are just buying branding rights and an asset they may be able to resell later. The technology has absolutely exploded over the past few weeks, and Winkelmann, more than anyone else, has been at the forefront of its rapid rise.